Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our Discord server where we post multiple updates a day. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. So Cardano is still doing absolutely nothing, and like I told you many times, this is normal because usually Cardano goes sideways or down in December. So this is not really, weird. It's actually normal. And if we take a look at what happened in 2020, it's the exact same thing. And I actually want to take a closer look at this. So as you can see here, the second wave of the main third wave move to the upside was very fast. It took about 2 days. And if you look at what happened after that, after we got the second wave low, we did absolutely nothing. And what do you know, it was also December when this started. Now, when did we start pumping in December? Well, we did not start pumping until January 1st. However, as you can see, in the first week of January, if you take a look at how much Cardano went up during that time, Cardano went up about 130%, and then it went sideways again for the entire month of January, and then in February it started going up again. So we could get something like this again. We could get a short-term pump of like 100% again in January, and then maybe we'll just go sideways again for another month. I know it would be boring and it would not make sense, and obviously we don't have to do the exact same thing we did in the previous cycle, but maybe we will, considering the fact that here in November we did the exact same thing. So yeah, we'll see if that happens or not. Now keep in mind, I'm still expecting Bitcoin dominance to start dropping very soon, so maybe this won't play out the same. Maybe we'll just start pumping and we will not stop for a while. And also, if you zoom out, I mean this right here, this sideways price action does not really look like anything. And I know there are already people complaining that we are going sideways, and they're calling for ADA to go to like 12 cents, which makes absolutely no sense. Even though Cardano went up like 300% in a matter of 4 weeks, people are still not happy with that. They want more, and they want like $50, they want $500, and that's just not realistic right now. Maybe it's gonna be realistic in like 20 cycles, but obviously not right now. What we need to focus on right now is getting above the 0.618 extension of the previous all-time high. As you can see, the price got rejected there, and this is actually kind of normal because we did the exact same thing in the previous cycle as well. So after getting above the 0.618 extension of the previous all-time high right here, Cardano just started going down, and this is where Cardano actually went sideways in January. So as you can see, we are actually ahead of schedule. Here we got rejected in January, but here we actually got rejected in December, so we are 1 month ahead, which is good. And yeah, we could get a pump like this very soon, but keep in mind, from a timeline perspective, we are still down here. And during this time, exactly 4 years ago, Cardano was at about 15 cents on average. Right now, Cardano is at 85 cents. And yeah, I don't know why people are complaining. I mean, if you take the all-time high of 2018 right here, and you go to where Cardano was exactly 4 years ago, Cardano was still about 87% down from the all-time high. If you look at what's happening in this cycle, if you take the 2021 all-time high, which is at about $3 and about 16 cents or so, Cardano is currently down about 72% from the all-time high, which is a lot less than 87%. So this is still good in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. Now let me talk about the Elliott wave count. I'm not gonna talk about the short term again, at least not right now, because I don't really want to. I've already talked about it multiple times and I feel like it's getting repetitive. So instead of doing that, I'm first gonna talk about the long-term potential. Right now we are working on a third wave of this 1-2 setup right here, and the minimum target for that is the 200% extension of the 1-2 setup. That is at $2.98. However, you have to keep in mind that the third wave of the 1-2 setup in the previous cycle got to the 1.618 extension of the previous all-time high. And also, there's something else you need to know. Before we had this 1-2 setup on the chart, we actually had a pandemic drop, which pretty much invalidated a previous 1-2 setup, and the 1-2 setup that we had here looks a lot more similar to the 1-2 setup that we have right now, rather than this right here. So maybe this is where we are at right now with this pump. Now of course the timeline does not match because this was in July of 2020, but maybe the pump that we had here was actually just what we have right now, and maybe this correction to the downside is the correction that we are getting right now. Like I said, it does not make sense from a 4-year cycle perspective. However, if you only judge this based on the structures, then this right here, like I said, this 1-2 setup looks a lot more similar to this 1-2 setup. And as you can see here, Cardano was starting to go up, but then all of a sudden it's invalidated the 1-2 setup because of the pandemic. Well, what if that did not happen? What if Cardano continued going up? Well, I think that would have been way better for Cardano, obviously, in the long term, and I think Cardano could have gotten to like $5 in the previous cycle if it weren't for the pandemic drop right here. But of course, that's just speculation. So how much did Cardano drop right here, and how long did it take? Well, let's check this out. It dropped about, let's see, 56%, and it took about 2 months. Right now, we have been in a correction for about, let's see, 28 days, and we went down about 42%. So this is obviously not the exact same thing. However, like I said, the structure looks pretty similar, so we'll see if this happens again. I'm not expecting it to happen again because it would not make the most sense, but who knows. Also, let me get rid of the arrows right here. We don't need them anymore. And I mean, yeah, the long-term potential, it's still there. I mean, I have been here since Cardano was at like 30 cents, and I always told you that a third wave needs to happen if the second wave move down holds, and the second wave move down respected the support levels, so of course at some point we needed a third wave move up. Also, if you look at this chart from a logarithmic point of view, I mean, it looks like it will go up, so of course it went up. Now, after we get the third wave, which could get above the previous all-time high right here, and it could even get to the 1.618 extension of the all-time high, which is at about $5.30. After we get that, we should get a fourth wave move down, and I'm expecting this move to happen during the summer, because the summer is usually very, very boring, so that means the third wave up here kind of has to top before the end of May, in my opinion. And then the fifth wave move up should top somewhere between September and November of 2025. However, you have to keep in mind, there are some altcoins that never get another top after the third wave move, so some altcoins will probably just get a third wave and that will be the top for the cycle. Yes, they will get a fourth wave move down as well, but the fifth wave move up will not be able to be completed. I mean, this happened in the previous cycle with some other altcoins. Let's actually look at some examples. For example, Uniswap. As you can see, Uniswap actually topped in May of 2021, and it never topped again in September when most altcoins actually had another top. I mean, here, for example, Cardano had a new all-time high, but Uniswap did not. So yes, we need 5 waves, but it's not guaranteed that we will get 5 waves. So what I want to tell you is that you need to take profits. Now, this is not financial advice, of course, but yeah, taking profits it's definitely important if we are already at like $5. I mean, if you bought at like 30 cents and you're not taking profits at like $5, what are you doing, you know? I also want to mention Bitcoin in this video. Bitcoin is still doing absolutely nothing. However, if you go on the 4-hour chart, I mean, the RSI was oversold right here, so this could be a good sign. The last time we got to the oversold territory on the 4-hour was when Bitcoin was at like 60k, so like I said, this could be bullish. However, if you look at what's happening right now, the RSI is currently at 52. It had a huge bounce, but the price did not really do anything, so this is a bit concerning. We'll see if we get another low in the fourth wave or if we start bouncing right now. And, you know, this does not really matter right now because at the end of the day, I'm still expecting Bitcoin dominance to start dropping soon. As you can see, Bitcoin dominance keeps getting rejected by the bull market support band. It keeps getting below it and it cannot seem to be able to get above it, which is a good sign because this is what happened in the previous 2 cycles. We had a cross on the bull market support band. For example, right here, we had a cross. We tested the bull market support band many times when we were below it. We got above it a couple of times, well actually only once right here, and then we went sideways, we did nothing for 48 days, and then we started going down. And we did the exact same thing in 2016 as well. As you can see, we had a cross on the bull market support band here. We were below the bull market support band. We tested the bull market support band multiple times. We got rejected and that was it. That was the beginning of the altcoin season. And yeah, things could be very bullish. And also, this happened 48 days after the cross. And in this cycle, we also had a cross on the bull market support band. And that was like 30 days ago, I believe, even more, like 40 days ago almost. So if we want to copy what we did in the previous cycle, we should start dropping very, very soon. However, if we do not do anything for the first 10 days of January, then do not be surprised. Also, keep in mind, if you zoom out on this chart, if you look at the monthly chart, it looks like it will start dropping very, very soon. And if you look at the RSI right here on the monthly, as you can see, we actually bounced off the moving average, so we'll see if we actually manage to get below it again. If we get below it again, I think that's it. I think that's the beginning of the altcoin season. And also, I've mentioned this in my previous video, Ethereum is expected to get to all-time highs very, very soon, just based on what it did in the previous cycles. I'm not gonna show you the chart, but if you look at the Ethereum monthly returns chart, Ethereum always goes up in January, and it goes up quite a lot, so we'll see if that happens or not. I'm obviously expecting it to happen. It happened every single year. Well, every single year that was not a bear market. So yeah, this should be very, very good. And if Ethereum goes up, Cardano will also go up. I mean, in November, Ethereum went up like 40% and Cardano went up like 300%. So whenever Ethereum goes up, it's a good sign for the altcoins. And yeah, that's actually very bullish. Also, look at the RSI on the monthly chart for Cardano. We are not overbought. The RSI is barely at 59 and we are at 86 cents. And if we get to these RSI levels that we got to in the previous cycles, that could put us at like $5, which is very good, because if we were already overbought, getting to $5 would be a lot more difficult. However, we are not overbought, which is a good sign. So yeah, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our Discord server where we post multiple updates a day. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Also, Happy New Year!